What's up, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Dig Your Dream, the new podcast brought to you by Digmi. I am your host, Ray Digmi, and I am super pumped up to be here with you tonight on this very first episode of the Dig Your Dream podcast. What we're going to be doing here on episode number 1, before we introduce you to our very cool list of passionate and inspiring personalities that will be joining our podcast show as guests in the coming weeks, is we're going to share my personal piece that I wrote for the Tip Your Cap blog site a couple of months ago entitled From Baseball to Bloomingdaleles, which is my personal reflection and my personal journey of going from professional baseball player to brand builder and how we took the Digmi brand and got it into Bloomingdaleles. Yes, Digmi got into Bloomingdaleles. So here it is, guys. Episode number 1 of the Dig Your Dream podcast. We just want to send a thank you to everyone who's listening. We are excited to be in the podcast game. So for those of you who are taking a chance to listen to this new podcast brought to you by Digmi, we send a sincere thank you. And to any other fans that we acquire as the weeks and months and years go on and you decide to look back at some of our previous episodes, including this very first one, we want to say thank you for that as well too. So thanks again, guys, for supporting this new project called the Dig Your Dream podcast. And here is episode number 1 entitled From Baseball to Bloomingdaleles. Written and read by Digmi Founder, Ray Digmi. I remember that spring like it was yesterday. It was my 3rd spring training in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. I was living my dream as a professional baseball player, working my way up the minor league ladder. I just came off what turned out to be a breakout year in my career, my first All-Star selection and championship while playing for the Lynchburg Hillcats of the Carolina League. I had just held my own in a league full of prospects and slowly started making a name for myself in the organization. So I headed down to Bradenton, Florida, feeling good about the upcoming 2003 season and the opportunity to play at the AA level. As I headed down south that February, I had no idea that it would be a single word, not a hit like a home run that would change the direction of my life. I was extremely fortunate to be asked to participate in a few big league camp games that spring. An exciting time for any player, but especially for me. You see, I wasn't even supposed to be there. Well, that's what most people thought, at least. I was a recruited walk-on at Seton Hall University who was once told that you're probably never going to be a starter in this program, to going undrafted after my senior year. Yet here I was, walking in and out of McKechnie Field playing some ball with big leaguers. Yeah, guys like All-Stars Kenny Lofton, Brian Giles, and Aramis Ramirez. Not bad for a skinny kid from Jersey. Like any young player looking to make a name for themselves in any major league organization, you work hard, perform at a high level, show up early, leave late, and whatever you do, you keep quiet and know your role. And that's exactly what I did, to a T. Except I did it with a big smile on my face and a different hat and colorful pair of sneakers every day. Damn, I forgot about the part about not drawing attention to yourself. Those colorful sneakers. I knew it. Before long, some of my new teammates and coaches started calling me Digmi. To be honest, I wasn't really happy about this. I mean, come on. I'm trying my best to make a good impression by working hard and following directions, and now all of these accomplished players were calling me something other than my real name, Ray Navarrete. This couldn't be good, I thought. All of these guys must not like me, or they just couldn't remember or know how to pronounce my last name. Turns out I was wrong, thank God. They did remember my name, and it turned out I was liked by my fellow teammates and coaches. But it was the sneakers and hats that got them to start calling me Digmi. Now I got it. Digmi. Like, hey man, I dig your style kind of thing. So what do you do when some of the best players in a major league clubhouse and best prospects in an organization start calling you a name? You embrace the hell out of it. And that's exactly what I did. Digmi. I thought. It has a really nice ring to it. And anyone who knows me well knows that my wheels start spinning once I get an idea. And without even knowing it, the next chapter of my life had just begun. I headed off to AA Altoona that spring with my confidence at an all-time high, with an awesome team and manager to play for, and this new nickname. And what a year it was. I got an opportunity to play in a beautiful stadium in a great town with incredible fans, and I was one step closer to my goal of reaching the major leagues. But what made it even more fun was how my new nickname played a role in this whole experience. Digmi soon became popular clubhouse banter, with players claiming to be Digmi and others taking a vote on whether or not they were. Soon those who were deemed to be Digmi became known as the Digmi Tribe, our very own tribe in AA. Before you knew it, with the help of 3 of my other teammates, Sean Burnett, Chris Duffy, and Josh Bonifay, the Digmi Tribe became a phenomenon among fans who started claiming they were Digmi too. Little kids, grandparents, and fans of all ages wanted to be part of the tribe. especially after the Altoona Mirror was kind enough to do a feature article on the four of us, telling the story about our performance, friendship, and style. The story was truly incredible. Fast forward 10 years, and you can imagine how much can happen. I completed a 14-year career in professional baseball with the Pittsburgh Pirates, Houston Astros, New York Mets, and Long Island Duck organizations. I gave the game I love every ounce of my effort and took my best swings at getting to the major leagues. Unfortunately, I came up one level short, playing in AAA Norfolk in the Mets organization as the highest step on the ladder. I have no regrets, no what-ifs, just gratitude I was one of the few guys out there who can say they got paid to play the greatest game in the world. But I'm also grateful for the platform the game gave me to share my Digmi story with fans and players across the country. My playing career became part of an incredible story that was starting to gain some traction. You see, along my playing journey, I decided to take my nickname and put it on a t-shirt. I mean, hell, if you're going to get called a name, might as well wear it, right? So that's what I did. But I made one small change. I dropped the E and made it an I. Why would I do that, you might be asking? Well, I thought that an I would be a reminder of phrases like I can, I am, I will. And just like that, an E became an I, Digmi became Digmi, and a nickname became a brand. At least that's what I was thinking. What was I thinking, actually? Right in the middle of playing professional baseball and trying to work my way up to the major leagues, I decided I wanted to start a lifestyle fashion brand. Like the schedule and commitment of trying to play at the same level of Derek Jeter and David Wright wasn't challenging enough. Attempting to start a new brand like Ralph Lauren seemed like a smart idea. Really, Ray? Who do you think you were? Mark Ecko or Damon John? I mean, seriously, this couldn't have been one of my brightest ideas. Or could it? A lifestyle brand with a catchy name that promotes a positive message of chasing your dreams and showcasing your personality? That sounds like something people might relate to. Doesn't everyone have a dream, I thought? Doesn't everyone have a personality worth showcasing with and sharing with others? Yes. Why, yes, they do. So how about all those people dress those dreams and personalities in some cool gear? Yeah. Now this is starting to make some sense. But wait, doesn't Digmi need a face, an icon, a logo? So here I am doing my thing in the middle of my playing career when I decided I wanted to start my own clothing brand. I had the name, I had the vision, and some even said I had the personality. But I needed a face, something that people could recognize as Digmi. So I started thinking, Polo has the player on the horse, Lacoste has the crocodile, Ecko has the rhino. Oh, so it has to be an animal, right? Well, at least that's what I thought. So I started thinking what animal would represent Digmi, and nothing clicked. Or maybe it was the fact that all the animals seemed to be already taken. I mean, we weren't about to use a dinosaur for our logo, were we? Digmi the dinosaur? Really? And then it happened. The game that changed everything. The game that introduced me to the one guy I would end up spending more time with than anyone else in my life. The guy in the tie. I forget the exact date, but it was sometime in 2004 while playing for the Altoona Curve, my second year in AA. We were in Bowie, Maryland, and I was just coming off a pretty good game. I was feeling good about my chances as a player and excited about my new apparel brand that had a name but no face. Well, not for long. You see, I had one of those nights that a player likes to forget. The one where you can't hit water if you fell out of a boat kind of nights. I played terrible the whole game and I struck out 3 or 4 times. I was just off. I looked bad, real bad. But hey, it happens. Anyone who has ever played baseball knows that you can feel like Ted Williams one night and then feel like one of the kids in the Bad News Bears the next. And for the record, if there's anyone out there listening to this right now who doesn't know who Ted Williams is or who the Bad News Bears are, I'm not quite sure we could be friends. Well, after my last at-bat and another strikeout, my hitting coach came over to console me and remind me to keep my head up. He pointed out that nights like these happen and that the last pitcher I just faced had some serious nasty stuff, and sometimes you just have to tip your cap. Wait, what? What did you just say? Did you just say, tip your cap? I'm a huge fan of the era of baseball when most fans wore suit and ties to games and would tip their caps to a great performance by a player. Or vice versa. When that player heard the applause from the crowd, they would acknowledge it with a tip of their cap, a gesture of gratitude and respect. Remember a time in our culture when a pretty woman would walk down the street and men would be polite and tip their caps? I can still see the images in my head of players tipping their caps and fans doing the same. So wait, a gesture acknowledging great performances and personalities? Yes, that's it. Not an animal or a crazy looking design. No, none of that. Digmi was going to tip its cap to everyone with the courage to chase their dreams and be themselves. And that's exactly what we did. With some thought, some sketches, and the concept of a dapper dressed man wearing a red tie and a top hat, the guy in the tie was born. Ladies and gentlemen, Digmi had found its face. The next decade flew by. From one organization to another, Digmi was being introduced to new people and players. I would travel from spring training complexes to minor league clubhouses, selling our small collection of t-shirts and hats, trying my best to build a business while playing professional baseball. As you can guess, that wasn't the easiest thing to do. In fact, looking back, I'm not even sure how we got this far. Like a struggling player in the middle of a tough season, I was making mistake after mistake. Everything from inventory to budgets and deadline challenges made it seem like my dream of building a successful brand would be impossible. I quickly learned that you can't build a brand while being a full-time baseball player who is more concerned with hitting home runs than designing and selling product. The priorities were out of order. I knew it. But I also knew that there was something special about this project. There was a reason why people were being drawn to our story. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was us. Maybe it was the guy in the tie. Or maybe it was all of it. Whatever it was, I just knew it was something. So I doubled down and committed to riding this thing out all the way. There was no turning back. Ever. So that's exactly what we did. We started hustling. I mean really hustling. From traveling to major league stadiums to meet players who were willing to wear and support our product, to hosting pop-up shops and small stores in the tri-state area, to setting up tables at colleges and sports complexes to gain some brand awareness and interest. We even had stealth sales transactions in diner parking lots on Long Island. You name it, we tried it. We packed up more cars and trucks than I would like to remember. Anything to keep the name out there and to keep the dream alive. Remember, no turning back, right? Some of it was working. Our designs were being worn by numerous professional athletes and celebrities. They were being seen on major media outlets like ESPN and MTV. We even snuck the guy in the tie on the national stage for Game 3 of the 2015 World Series with a cool sign cheering on Noah Syndergaard and the New York Mets. People were noticing. It was working. At least I thought it was. But we needed to make some moves. We needed more credibility. A place to work. A place to call home. A place for our new fans and customers to visit and shop. And since we were still having trouble getting any retailer to take a shot on our brand because we were so new, I decided to open a store. Yeah, you heard it right. Another one of my brilliant ideas. Really, Ray? Adding a store to an already difficult project makes sense to you? Yes, it does. I had a plan. I had an idea. I had a vision. And it nearly cost us everything. We opened Digmi Nation in November of 2012. I had no choice. I know. You always have a choice. I get it. I do. But no one was giving us a chance in their stores. I kept being told to come back when we got into our first retailer or landed other accounts. What? How can I get into my first store if no one wants to be the first to take us? So that's why I decided to open our own Digmi store. We didn't have to impress or convince anyone to take our stuff. It was our place, so it would be all Digmi everything. And it was beautiful. We built the space from scratch and it turned into everything we needed it to be. We held events, seasonal releases, and special interviews with celebrities. My crazy idea, although risky as hell, was doing what we needed it to do. It was getting us attention. People were noticing. The right people were getting interested in our project. More people were believing. But I have to be honest, that store was the most stressful project I have ever been a part of in my life. I risked almost everything I had on that project. Time, money, part of my sanity, maybe all of my sanity actually. For all the great moments we had there were a lot of lonely nights, too many to mention. A lot of nights where I stayed behind to close up after another cool event or after another productive meeting with my team. I'd shut the lights off sometimes and just sit there in the dark, wondering if I was biting off more than I can chew. We were so close to hitting it, but yet so far away at the same time. Our popularity was growing, at least it seemed, but the sales weren't. And I quickly learned the hard way that popularity doesn't always pay the bills. We hadn't caught our break yet. How much longer could I keep this thing going? What started out as a feel-good story of professional baseball player builds clothing brand was turning into a sad headline of retired baseball player strikes out in business. All the time, all the years, all the hustle, and we hadn't caught our break. Damn, one level short again. I'm not even sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing, But I'm the kind of guy who doesn't know how to quit or when to ever give up. Don't get me wrong, I've said it a million times, both in baseball and business. That's it. I quit. I don't need this anymore. Yeah, guilty as charged. I lead the league in saying it, but I've never had the courage to do it, especially when I believe in something. Just like baseball, I promised myself I'd play until the end. It didn't matter the salary or what league or what color uniform. I promised myself as a kid that I would play for as long as I could, and that's exactly what I did. So how could I be any different with Digmi? Didn't I love this too? Didn't I promise myself that I would ride this out all the way? Yeah, I did. And I'm a man of my word. There is a quote that says, "The temptation to quit will be the greatest just before you are about to succeed." At least I think I've seen that somewhere. So quitting wasn't an option. Ever. Onward we go. It's crazy what can happen when you hang on just a little longer, when you keep the lights on one more day and the door open for another night. Someone might just walk in. That's the one thing our Digmi team does so well. We never shut down, we never close up shop. We just keep moving forward. The store did what it had to do. Someone noticed. Well, actually, a few people noticed who believed in our project and vision. It was exactly what we needed. A big acquisition at the trade deadline kind of moment. Our Digmi team just got some new teammates. Boom! The team of passion and personality joins forces with a team of businessmen. Yes, the store, the place where we told our story, gave people a visual of what this could be. It worked. It worked. At the 11th hour, it worked. We got new life and the ability to take the project to a new level. More product offerings, creative projects, including attending industry trade shows, put Digmi in the middle of it all. Here we were, Digmi, a real brand where buyers from national retailers were getting an opportunity to see our collection and hear our story. It's really cool when a buyer stops by your booth to check out your collection and asks to hear your brand story and places an order. Kind of like hitting a home run. We took this momentum back home with the help of some of our new contacts, and we were given the opportunity to meet with representatives from Bloomingdale's in the spring of 2016. Yeah, you heard me right. Bloomingdale's. I don't get nervous that often, and usually feel confident in most situations, but this was different. This was our chance. My chance to make all the time and effort on this project worth it. This was the opportunity to make all the whispers I've heard along the way. It'll never work. It's impossible. What are you thinking? No one's going to wear it. It's corny. You're wasting your time and your money. You're going to fail. All of those whispers, I could make them go away. Come on, Ray. Get your mind right. Forget about all the other stuff going on in your life right now. Nothing else matters. This is the meeting you've been waiting over a decade for. Just like I did for 14 years playing professional baseball, I had a routine that helped get my game face on. A cup of black coffee and some J. Yeah, as in Jay-Z. Jay's been my soundtrack since high school, and even accidentally made an appearance at our first Digmi party at the 4040 Club in New York City back in 2004. Oh, did I forget to mention that earlier? My bad. I woke up, went over our collection, packed up our samples, and threw on a tie. Come on, I had to. And of course, a fresh Digmi fitted hat. It was story time. I got to New York City a little early as I had to meet one of my partners before walking into the meeting. I stood on the corner of 59th and Lexington and just stared at the Bloomingdale store for a little bit. I had to take it all in. No matter what happened in the next few minutes, I was proud of what we had built. Digmi was about chasing dreams. And throughout all the highs and lows, the good and the bad, that's what we did. We chased our dream. It didn't matter what happened next. I was proud of who we were and what we stood for. Oh yeah, I forgot. I wore my first Digmi t-shirt we ever made underneath my button-down shirt. I had to, for good luck, but it also made me feel like every person who has been part of our journey was with me. All right, time to go into the meeting. I walk into the building. Yes, hi, good morning. My name is Ray Digmi, and they are expecting me. I'd like to think I told my best story that morning. I came with passion and presented our collection with heart and enthusiasm. I introduced the guy in the tie and detailed our vision for our brand. I had their attention. Or was it him? Or was it all the awesome images I showed them of people being Digmi? It didn't matter, because it was all the same. Me, him, you. I explained that we are all Digmi, and they believed me. Yeah, they believed me enough to tell me that they would be in touch with plans to bring Digmi into Bloomingdale's in some capacity. Wait, what? Did you say yes to Digmi? Yes to the brand that couldn't get their first account because no one wanted to be the first to take us on? I could have easily have done the moonwalk in that office, but I had to keep my composure. Act like you've been there before. But I couldn't help but smile. I smiled bigger than ever. Digmi just landed its first account, with Bloomingdale's of all places. That was the spring of 2016. With that great news came a lot of hard work to bring this to life. Design, development, production all had to be done according to their company standards. Wow, what a learning curve and at times a very challenging process for some rookies like us. But this is what we asked for. I remember having to get into the city to sign paperwork to make the purchase order official, and of course everything was going wrong that day. Traffic almost made me late for the meeting that would put Digmi on the shelves of their 59th Street and Lexington location. Yes, the iconic Bloomingdale's in the middle of New York City location. No way could we be late for this meeting. So you have to do what you have to do, right? So here I am stuck in the middle of a taxi cab in the middle of New York City. I'm looking around saying, I'm going to be late for this meeting. No way I could let that happen. So I hopped out of the cab and ran through the city streets, dodging cars, buses, and bikes to get there on time. It wasn't easy, and we had to dodge some traffic along the way, but we got there. Paperwork signed, sealed, and delivered. Digmi was headed to Bloomingdale's. I'll remember that day for the rest of my life. March 6th, 2017. The day Digmi hit the shelves of 3 Bloomingdale's stores, 1 in New York City and 2 out on Long Island. What a feeling it was to hear the news that our brand was in a national retailer and in the middle of the Big Apple. It's actually really hard to put into words what I was feeling that whole day, especially when I got to see it with my own eyes. I fought my way into the city right before they closed at around 8:30. I went by myself. I had to. I knew what would happen when I got there. I ran through the doors and down the escalator to the Metro 59 section of the store, and there they were. 3 new Digmi designs. Digmi label, Digmi hang tag, price $35. I stood there and stared. I'd be lying if I told you I didn't tear up. Like I said before, there were so many lonely times along this journey, so many difficult choices to make, so much loss along the way. But I promised myself I'd never give up. I promised my team I'd never give up. And here we were, in the middle of Bloomingdale's. I took some pictures and then grabbed the size large in all 3 styles. I walked up to the cash register and proudly paid full price plus tax for my very own Digmi t-shirts. It never felt so good to spend money on anything before in my life. I walked through the store and I looked around. Polo, Lacoste, Psycho Bunny, Calvin Klein, major brands, the biggest brands. By no means am I comparing ourselves to them yet, but I have to admit that it was super cool to be in the same room as them. Kind of reminded me of being in that Major League clubhouse in spring training back in the day. And hey, you never know. Maybe we'll be a brand who has space just like the others. You could only dream, right? The ride back home was an emotional one. I'm sure you can understand. I thought about how it all started with the nickname and then the crazy idea to put it on a shirt, then a hat, then a sweatshirt. I thought about all the parties and projects that helped give Digmi life. I thought about all the great memories and friendships that were made because of the guy in the tie. But then I thought about all those lonely nights when I was scared to death that I had gotten it wrong, that my idea wouldn't work, and that the vision I convinced so many people to believe in would fall short. I thought about all I had lost along the way. But that's part of it. I always knew that going into this thing. I guess that's why I've always been drawn to chasing it. I realized that Digmi was just like baseball. You work so hard, give up so much, knowing that there will be so many hard times. You go into it knowing that it will be a long, hard road. But the chance to play in the major leagues is worth all the years fighting in the minors, right? And even if you come up one level short, you can look in the mirror and know you gave it everything you had. And for the entire Digmi team, after years of working, designing, fighting to keep the dream alive, we had made it. At least for this one night, we made it. We finally won. When I got home that night, I sent out a group text to my team thanking them for all of their years of hard work and support. They were all so pumped and excited about what the future had in store for us and our brand. One of my partners sent a separate text to me saying, "Congrats, Ray. All of your dreams are about to come true. You just got to the big leagues." And that text really hit home. You see, it seemed like I spent my whole life playing the game I love, giving everything I had to play in the major leagues. And I'm proud of my career. I really am. But the bottom line is that I came up one level short. One level short of being a Major League Baseball player. People ask me all the time, where do I get my drive to keep working on this Digmi project, and how I didn't give up during all those difficult times. Well, I guess here's the best way I can put it. I've been extremely fortunate to play baseball at every level in the world. Little League, middle school, high school, Division I college, rookie ball, short season, A-ball, high A, double A, triple A, Major League spring training. I have a hit at every one of those levels. I always told myself, when I have my dream office, I will create a wall with a baseball in a really cool case from each of those leagues, signifying my hit and my time there. And then there will be this empty case. Yes, I will have an empty case on the bottom right of that wall. And that case will always be a reminder of the one level I didn't get to. I'm convinced that if I did get there, if I did get to the major leagues, I would have gotten that hit. I mean, I did get a hit at everywhere else I played, but the fact is this, I didn't get there. I didn't get that hit, and that hit will always be missing. That missing hit, that missing level is what drives me. I have this dream that with a lot of hard work, that maybe Digmi can grow big enough and motivate tons of people to chase their dreams and embrace their personalities to where Major League Baseball notices who we are. And then maybe we can do something with them. Maybe we can partner on a charitable cause. Maybe they ask us to collaborate on a cool apparel design, or we even become the official lifestyle brand of the league. I don't know, but it could happen, right? Couldn't you see our logo, the guy in the tie, tipping his cap on billboards all across Major League Baseball stadiums? I definitely could. And when that does happen, I'll make a custom baseball with our Digmi logo on it, and I'll put it in the case where the missing hit lies. And every day I'll look at it and I'll know this. I may have come up a tad bit short of playing in the major leagues, but we built a brand that got there. Digmi playing in the major leagues. Yeah, that'll be good enough for me. For some strange reason, I have a feeling that baseball took me to Bloomingdale's, and getting into Bloomingdale's just might take me back to baseball. There is a saying in baseball that goes something like this. Getting to the big leagues is the easy part. Staying there is the hard part. Well, I guess we can say we know the feeling. Hell, we got there. We got to Bloomingdale's. Now we just have to figure out a way to stay. But that story is for another time and another experience. For now, here's to living your dream and tipping your cap along the way. Live your dreams. Be yourself. You never know just how far that can take you. A quick little note. If you notice, I say we throughout this piece. I say we because that's who we are. A lot of people get confused between Digmi and Ray Digmi. Yeah, I'm the guy who started this crazy project. Yes, it is my nickname that my family, friends, and now business associates call me. But Digmi is a we thing. I couldn't be luckier to have had the crew I've had over the years that have come to believe in this project with me and support it with their time and effort and talent, and most importantly, their passion. Their belief and trust in me is the greatest responsibility that I have. I owe them. Without them, there is no dream, no vision, no hustle. They have put their heart and soul into this project right there with me, and for that, I will always be grateful. There is zero shot this story exists without them. They know who they are, and they will always be my inspiration to make sure this project, one way or another, succeeds. This is your brand. Thank you for walking this journey with me. To my business partners, all the athletes and celebrities who ever gave us their time, and every single person who has ever been kind enough to support our project with a purchase, a very heartfelt thank you. To my family, thanks for dealing with this project for so long. I have a feeling it's all going to be worth it. I love you guys. And to Bloomingdale's, thank you for giving a guy in a tie a chance to hang in your stores. He is forever grateful. Written in red, with great pride and emotion, Digmi Founder, Ray Digmi.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.